Hi, my fancians. Welcome back. Hope you are doing well. Those who don't know me, I whisper you stories so you can relax and imagine as if it is real. Let's begin today's story. This is actually a story, a conversation between two eternal architects of the human soul. They sit in the grey room, a space in the mind just before a person falls asleep or just after they wake up. One is Stress, sharp dressed in a charcoal suit that fits a little too tight, tapping a silver pen against a glass table with the rhythmic anxiety of a ticking clock. The other is Happiness, dressed in colors that seem to shift like soap bubbles, sitting cross-legged, holding a warm cup of tea that never gets cold. The grey room, the conversation begins. Stress tapping faster. He's still awake. Did you see the jaw clenching? That's my work. I got the cortisol levels peaking right on schedule. He's thinking about the 9 a.m. presentation, the rent increase, and that weird sound the car made on the highway today. I'm winning tonight, Joy. Happiness, smiling softly. It isn't a game. Stress, and please don't call me Joy. It sounds like a brand of dish soap. You aren't winning. You're just overstaying. He hasn't breathed deeply in 4 hours. You're hogging the oxygen. Stress, I'm protecting him. If I don't keep him awake, thinking about the car noise, he will be stranded on the shoulder of the road next week. If I don't make him rehearse the presentation 50 times in his head, he'll stumble over his words and lose the promotion. I am the engine of his survival. I am the reason he hasn't lost everything yet. Happiness, you are a smoke detector that goes off every time someone lights a candle. Yes, survival is important, but look at him. He's staring at the ceiling. His heart is like a drum in a room with no music. You've convinced him that the future is a minefield, so he's forgotten how to walk in the present. Stress. The present is a luxury for people who have no bills. Stress stands up and starts pacing in the grey room. My job is hard, okay? I have to manage the what ifs. What if he fails? What if they laugh? What if he's alone forever? I build the walls that keep the disasters out. Happiness, you build the walls so high he can't see the sun. Do you remember this morning, 7:15 a.m., the way the light hit the steam coming off his coffee? I was there for 3 seconds. He felt it, a small golden spark in his chest, and then you stepped in. Stress became defensive. I had to. He saw a notification on his phone, an email from his boss. I had to pivot his focus. We didn't have time for golden sparks. We had an urgent flag to address. Happiness. It wasn't urgent. It was an automated newsletter. But you turned it into a crisis. You're addicted to the rush. Stress. You've got his brain. That's being calm is the same as being unprepared. Stress. He stops pacing and looks tired. And what do you offer? You're flighty. You show up for a sunset or a good meal and then you vanish. You're like a butterfly, pretty to look at, but you can't carry any weight. When the world gets heavy, he calls for me. He uses my energy to pull all the nighters. He uses my adrenaline to run the miles. I am the one who stays when the things go ugly. Happiness. I don't vanish. I'm just quiet. You're a megaphone. I'm a whisper. I'm the reason he wants to survive. If it were just for you, he had given up years ago. Why work for the promotion if there is no room for celebration? Why fix the car if he has nowhere beautiful to drive it? I am the why, and you are just a how. Stress. He sits back down. He's burnt out. Joy. I can't feel the wires fraying. I try to push harder to compensate for the exhaustion, but it's like pushing a car with no wheels. Happiness. Because you've forgotten the rhythm. We are supposed to be a heartbeat, contraction and release. You provide the contraction, the effort to the drive. I provide the release, the recovery, the reward. But you've turned the contraction into a permanent state. You've locked the muscle. Stress. How do I let go? If I stop tapping, he'll realize how tired he actually is. He might break. Happiness. Let him break a little. The light gets it through the cracks. He needs to realize that the world won't end if he sleeps. He needs to realize that happiness isn't a destination he reaches after he solved every problem. It's the fuel he needs to solve them in the first place. Stress. He's closing his eyes finally. Happiness. Good. No step back. Just for tonight. Let me show him the dream about the ocean. The one where he isn't carrying anything. Let me give him his nervous system a vacation. Stress. Fine. But I'm setting the alarm for 6 a.m. We have a lot of work to do tomorrow. Happiness. I know stress. I'll be there at 6:01. I'll make sure he notices the cold water on his face. I'll make sure he hears the birds for at least a minute before you tell him they are too loud. Stress. Smirks a little. Deal. Happiness. Okay, deal. This is a short story of a man having a conversation in his head between stress and happiness. In 2026, the world moves faster than ever. We often think stress is our enemy, but it's actually an overprotective friend who doesn't know when to stop talking. Happiness is in the absence of stress. It's the ability to tell stress, thank you for watching out for me, but I've got it from here. The end. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more stories. Also do suggest what story you would love to hear next. Have a lovely day. Stay safe. See you until next time. Bye bye, my fancy hens.